Now, I just want to pause here and say that from the content of my other videos, you should know that I'm not taking this quote to apply to narcissistic abusers or emotionally abusive people. Obviously, those people are not people that we should be unconditionally accepting. But Marianne's work is highly practical for relationships where we find ourselves interacting with people who we're just not compatible with. So I love that she talks about love as letting go, because I think even in the realm of toxic, abusive relationships, we can apply that love, because often we feel that we, love our abusers when in fact it's actually a lack of love for ourselves that we're experiencing. We don't love ourselves to the point where we feel we can leave. And of course, that's simplifying the issue. I know that there's so much more involved than that. There's trauma bonds that tether us to the abuser. There's, you know, risks that we take with physical violence, even our own safety if we leave the abuser in certain cases. There's, Stockholm syndrome. There's so much psychological tethering and connection with our abusers that it can be very difficult to leave. And that's something that I write about in my blog a lot as well. But I think that Marianne's principles on love as letting go can definitely be applied to non-abusive relationships where we find ourselves very attached to people who actually the highest form of love that we can give them is to let them go. And the highest form of love that we can give ourselves is also to let them go. And so I just wanted to pause and clarify that I'm not using this quote to justify tolerating abuse, because I know that's a very sensitive topic, and for me it's not something that I personally accept in my philosophy to tolerate any sort of abuse. But I really like her philosophy about not trying to push our agenda upon people and accepting people as they are and not what we wish them to be. And in some cases, in the realm of abusive relationships or toxic relationships, that can really help, because if we accept that this person is toxic for us, then we also accept that we have to leave them in order to love ourselves fully. And if we do have this illusion that we really love them, letting them go would actually be the greatest force of love. So that's, again, a caveat and nuance that we have to kind of think about and rework when we're talking about the Course in Miracles tradition and when we're discussing works like Marianne's or works that are similar. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. And so I'll be going back to reading some excerpts. Changing our minds is the ultimate personal empowerment. Although it is a human decision to choose love instead of fear, the radical shift that this produces in every dimension of our lives is a gift from God. Miracles are an intercession on behalf of our holiness, from a thought system beyond our own. In the presence of love, the laws that govern the normal state of affairs are transcended. Thought that is no longer limited brings experience that is no longer limited. Okay, so why does all of this matter? Why should you even care about the fact that you have agency over what happens after the trauma, or when you're going through the trauma, or when you're going through the suffering? Well, having seen Marianne live was incredibly transformative for me, just to hear her speak, because she has this amazing ability to really engage with the audience. She's definitely a storyteller at heart, and the stories that she tells really touches people, and she really engages with the audience. Like, she was actually coming up to people as they asked questions, just to be near them as they spoke, just to be able to engage with them more fully and charismatically, and I really appreciated that. And one of the things that she said that really struck me while I was in the audience watching her was that there's a difference between denial and transcendence. And, you don't have to be a spiritual guru to kind of try to understand what that means. So what that means is that there's a difference. There's a difference between transcending an experience that we've had, transcending trauma, transcending suffering, and the denial of trauma or suffering. And it's very important, I think, especially in my philosophy. I really believe in validating ourselves, validating the pain that we've experienced, validating the crises that we've gone through, validating all of our emotions through the process of healing and transforming. Everyone knows that it's not an easy process. It's not a process that is just going to be very easy. It can also be a lifelong process where there's many doubts, many fears, many obstacles along the path, and we might make the same mistakes over and over again until we learn how not to make them. So none of us are perfect, and all of us are really striving and struggling to improve ourselves. Hopefully we all are. And the fact is, we're not trying to deny that we've had this experience of suffering, but we're trying to transcend it. We're trying to transform it in some way through some meaningful outlet. And I'll give you an example from my own life because, I started this video saying that I have 100 subscribers on YouTube. And that might not seem like a huge number for some people because, I have other big numbers. This year has been really transformative for my blog and my book, and I've gotten 1,000 fans on Facebook, so that's something that I celebrate as well. I've gotten over 1,000 subscribers to my mailing list, and that's something that's incredible. But the fact that I have 100 subscribers on YouTube was very special to me, because I actually started making videos late at night because I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep at night. I was going through, a very transformative period. I had just been through, I was actually in the midst of a crisis. I was trying to keep myself on the path of no contact. And what I did every day was write pages for my book, which is now published, which is now a Kindle bestseller, which I never thought would happen, never expected it to happen. And I would keep myself on the track of no contact by making YouTube videos at night. And it would really just help me as a person to just let go of the anxiety that I was experiencing every night. And I knew that I wasn't going to get to sleep, so I figured I might as well do something constructive with my time. I might as well do something while I'm up. And why not just help people? Why not just reach out to someone who might be listening, who might be watching? And again, like I said, I was in the midst of crisis. And that was also the journey in my transformation. I was transforming myself every day, even though I didn't really know it. I knew I had this goal of writing this book, of publishing it, and hopefully helping one or two people, hopefully a handful of people, whatever. It didn't matter as long as I made some sort of difference. But I had no idea that it would have the reach that it did. And of course, I thank God for that. I thank all of my readers, my supporters, the people who watch my videos, the people who read my blog posts, the people who've read my book, who've reviewed my book. I thank everyone in, anybody who's done anything to kind of, share my work and anything that's helped them heal. I thank God for that, because that means that I've done something very meaningful and I've done something constructive with my experience of suffering. And right now in this video, I just want you to, if there's one major takeaway from this video, is that whatever you're going through right now, your crisis, it's the key to your transformation. And it might be that you'll be a change maker yourself, and you'll go out and help people who've been through similar experiences that you have. It might be that you become closer to your true passion and your authentic self, and you develop stronger boundaries, and you learn more about your values as a result of trauma. It might be that you finally start prioritizing yourself and finally start learning who you are. But your crisis is the key to your transformation, and there's no doubt about that. If you start with just even a morsel of faith, it will grow bigger. Faith in yourself. Whatever your spiritual path is, whatever your religious views are, it really is not what it is that's relevant. What's relevant is that you realize that you're part of a larger universe that needs your help. And so while you're helping yourself, you're also helping others. And that means spreading awareness about issues that you care about, sharing your experience and stories, because that can really help others, supporting people who've been through similar trials. And again, if you need to stay up at night, if you're experiencing sleepless nights, write. Write with your pen, make videos, make music, draw art, do something creative, do something that you enjoy, do something that you know will become meaningful. Or even if you don't know, just try it. Just take out the sketch pad, take out the notebook, go on the piano and perform that song that you know is inside of you. Do something constructive with your trauma, do something constructive with your suffering, because as Marianne says, that is what it's there for. Your suffering is there for you to go through it. It's not there for you to deny it. It's not there for you to avoid it. It's there for you to go through it and come out on the other side, being able to guide others in their own journey to healing. So that's the major takeaway from this video, and I hope that if you've learned anything, it's that your crisis is your transformation. So I know I'm going to stop beating you over the head with that message, but I hope that it will sink in, and even if it doesn't now, maybe you'll remember it the next time you're suffering, or the next time you're feeling in excruciating pain. Just know that you are going to come out of the other side. You are going to come out of this, and you're going to come out of the other side, and you're going to be so much stronger than when you first started. And I know I am stronger. I know that every sleepless night, when I came on to make videos, I never expected that this would be my transformation. So take this as a sign that it's time for you to own your agency and to make your crisis your transformation and make it the key to your change. A change in your life, whether it be in your relationships, whether it be your relationship to yourself, your relationship to your faith, to your job, or whether it's change in all areas of your life. Let it be the key to your transformation, to your change, to your turning point. Get out the sketch pad, write down your story, go on that online forum or go to that offline support group. Start an organization, start a fundraising campaign, do something that still connects to your greater purpose in this life. And I promise you that it will be a stepping stone to your healing. And really, that is part of the Course in Miracles tradition. It's also what Deepak Chopra calls transcending your karma. And you don't have to follow a certain spiritual path. You don't even have to believe in a certain religious view in order to benefit from this miracle making, this kind of transformative power of turning your crisis into something meaningful, turning your suffering into something that's meaningful for the world to benefit from. And again, I don't personally believe that we deserve the suffering or that we attract the suffering in any way, but because it's there for us to use.